Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. It's land.
Yeah, but isn't this the unplugged version? I don't know. I think it's the unplugged version.
All right, Paulie, let's go.
All right, listen, y'all. Just go ahead and let the guest play. Come on, jeez. That's better. Gotta go.
Oh my, good morning. Welcome to the morning Mexican. The morning Mexican. What's the difference between an evening and a morning Mexican? Well, we do drink coffee in the evening, but in the morning, ya tenemos pan dulce. I got two pieces of pan dulce from the market on the corner just right now. And it's Monday, and I hope you're doing well. Hope you had a good weekend. Please share the link. Let people know that we are here this morning for, I would say, maybe about an hour, maybe less, probably less. And going over news items, going over items, and going over. Let's start with the fun, happy stuff. Fun, happy stuff. Fun, happy stuff is we have the return of Andy Vargas of Santana coming to the show. I'm thinking we're going to record that show either today or tomorrow, and depending on the musical performances, we'll have it up to you for you Wednesday night, and we'll be live in the chat. But Andy Vargas of Santana is going to come and sing some songs, but also have a guest by the name of Asdrew from the band Ozomatli. So good morning, one and all. That is good news. We're gonna start off with some good. Those are easy ones, right? Feel good stuff. It's Monday. Share the link. Say hello to me in the chat. And if you feel compelled, drop us a PayPal or a super chat. And I want to get this poster up real quick. So we're going to talk about two music items, and then we'll go into some of the news from this past weekend. And as I do got, is that it? No, that is not it. Okay, we'll take that one. So Andy Vargas from Santana has a foundation, Andy Vargas Foundation. And let me see how this works. Let me see if we can get it up here. Cool, we'll take that. Let me see, make myself. Yeah, we'll make it big. And good morning, Wookie. Good morning. How are you? What? Still morning over there, isn't it? In Wookie land. Have some coffee, chill. Okay, so the actual concert for Andy Vargas and Ozamale is December 18th. It's in California, but they're gonna come on and they're going to do a performance for us and for you guys, and to get the word out. Probably a couple songs. I'm gonna have that up live by Wednesday night, or maybe sooner. It depends on how the recording goes. So we're gonna do that today or tomorrow with Andy and Ozo. Mm. It's really just one of the guys from Andy and Ozo. So that's what's happening, musically this week on the Latino Slant. I had told you guys earlier. Oh, someone's backing up. The morning, man. I got to tell you, man. The morning is like, when you're just waking up, the worst thing is like those morning sounds in the city. Uh, trucks backing up with a wee, wee, wee. You're just like, and you're still like having your first cup. Or for Mondays for us, it's the garbage trucks that come by. So with the garbage trucks that come by, it's always before the homeless that come, and I don't even know if they're homeless. I'm just assuming coming in to our recycle bins because we put them out in the street and they rummage. So there's this, the morning time is always, it's like one of like quiet and then like, shocking reality that oh yeah, I'm in the city, even though we have a little house, but we're definitely in the city, baby. And like I said, the big difference between a morning Mexican and a nighttime Mexican is a pan dulce. So I'm gonna have a bite. All right. I don't know if you guys experience that stuff at all. Wookie says, kind of funny, but this is the only chat I won't enter by yelling a bunch of Spanish expletives as a greeting. Well, I mean, I appreciate that. You, you can if you want, and sometimes it's warranted. Allegedly, but also really. Good morning. Get that coffee, you guys, coffee drinkers. John Yee, a prime factor for me nowadays would be to be as far from any main road as possible. Yeah, man. Oh, yeah. That's, my cousin, she just bought a house, which is like, whenever you can buy a house in LA, it's like you're doing well. And she's worked really hard. And so the pluses are, it's like, 1-story house, it's got the whole backyard and everything. And her and the family, they're contractors. They know how to redo stuff. In fact, the older house, anyways, she knows how to, handle that. That's her business. But the house is on a main road. And I'm curious if they're going to set up some sort of hedges in the front. I would build that wall because it's like a wall of sound that you want to like deflect. That particular road, it's an artery road, right? Everyone uses it north to south to get to two huge main roads, several huge main roads. But that artery that she's on, that road, it's always busy. It's always busy. So yeah, I hear you. We're two streets off a really big road. So our road is really like pretty chill. There's a couple of goofballs that like to drag race their cars down, and they like to think that stop sign's not for them. So they're dangerous, they're idiots, but people like that drive like that, they tend to get theirs in the end. So that's just how it works. Yeah, John. They need a sound buffer. Yeah. I'm hoping at least she puts a nice gate fence and then like tall trees, that would be really nice. Rogue Disney's here. Good morning, sir. Still morning over there. I'm nowhere near a big road, thankfully, but damn, do boaters make a lot of noise, right? Unless we are like, have our own ranch where there's not a neighbor miles, from miles away, you know, there's certain things that are going to be cut off, but even then there's always a sound. There's always, and we're diverting here. We're talking about morning sounds. It's a good talk. We're talking about morning sounds. So Rogue Disney has a problem, has a thing with boats that make noise, and I have extra coffee, and this is my Yeti thermos that I put my coffee in, my Latino slant cup. That's nice. Let me see what John. There are houses that are by a turnpike, and years ago they redesigned that area. They cut down all the trees. The homeowners complained about the sound. A brick and glass wall was built. Not as natural as the trees, but it worked. Yeah, but does it look ugly? I mean, that's just, they redesigned that area and cut down the trees. Progress is funny, man. Just the shit it does. Hurricane windows are a blessing. They blow out a lot of that noise. Yeah. So, yeah, this whole little conversation started with, I just heard like a utility truck, and from this window, I can't see what it was, but it had that, that siren when it backs up. Oh, I can't stand that. I say utility truck, but it's like nowadays everyone has that damn sound with their trucks. Yeah, I guess the bigger the truck, I don't know if it's a law or something, but you have the revert. They put it in reverse. Wee, wee, wee. Okay. Okay, let's switch gears a little bit, and I hope everyone's doing well. Please share the link. Let people know. I put it up on Twitter. Liking it is cool, but if you can retweet it, that would be even cooler. We got 10 likes. Wow, that's pretty neat. Okay. When you see your entertainment, whether it's a comic book, a game, a TV show, a movie, theater, or you read a book or go to see some art, what is your default set to? What is your standard? What is your default set to nowadays? Are you set for stun? Are you set for anger? Are you set for like? Are you set for hope? Are you set for caution? It seems that a lot of people's default standard is set for attack. Attack. Attack, attack, attack. On entertainment, even before they see it. Entertainment that is maybe from a company that has betrayed you in the past. Disney, Warner, HBO, go down the line. What I get from the community is, well, Paulie, they ruined Star Wars, or they ruined Star Trek. So I don't even need to see it. I'm gonna attack that shit. Okay. I get it. So if by that approach and that, that method, that thinking, I should not see anything from Hollywood, because what matters to me, what I think is important, right? With the especially, with the channel and what I'm all about, we're invisible. We Mexicans, Latinos, all that shit. The hiring practices are disgusting. Racism, ignorance, practices of Hollywood of old have continued under a new uh, wolves disguise. It's the same thing. So we're gonna turn the morning Mexican to the mad Mexican right now. Is that yeah? I'm always mad about how we have been treated stereotypically. But if you know me, and if you know the channel, you know I welcome everybody because I like to share in our this culture. We're gonna have all the things that we do for you guys, and how much I really do love people. But going back to Hollywood, if I approach anything new with with those visors on, I'm screwed. I'm screwed, and I'm not gonna enjoy anything. In fact, I won't even watch something and I'll review it. And there's those people out there that do that shit, which I don't appreciate. But I know why they do it. It's for the clicks. It's for the audience that is and the environment that they have created. Because if they don't, it's just the algorithm. People like drama. People like to attack. Yeah, especially nowadays, man. So if I was to go with that, I mean, the hiring of Latino writers and directors is less than 2% in Disney, less than 5% Paramount. I think they're the highest. Now, why does that matter, Paulie? It's all about the story. I always get that. Give me the story, the good story. I don't care what background it is. Let me tell you something. That's bullshit. Here's why it's bullshit. And here's where I get angry. Because if I nod my head and say, oh, yeah, you're right, what am I going to get? I'm going to get the same disgusting stereotypes that have plagued Hollywood and the Latino people since Hollywood started making films. Think about it. It's really important. It's important. It's actually really important for great content that we hire more people who have different stories to tell. It can't be the same thing. Change is a motherfucker. I get it. Change sucks, especially if you're a purist of a story like a comic or a book. Like I'm scared to death of this one book, and I did a video on it, and I'll tell you about it in a minute. Now, that's not to say that I'm not with you in certain cases, whether it's like a black Superman or uh, a an ill-conceived production or remake. I can do both. I actually have the capacity to do both, right? I can want better Latino stories, and at the same time, I can want Superman to stay Superman, Clark Kent. And I know that there can be another one, another different type of Superman. Now, I had a great conversation with Belle Hernandez, and she runs a trade publication online, like a Deadline since the 90s, called Latin Heat. The video's up. And she knows every mover and shaker in the business with as far as Latinos. And the ones that she's named, right? And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not fans of their work. I am not fans of their work. They have an audience. Some I am fans of. Some I am excited for. But just because, and this is part of the argument too, just because they're Latino and they get the job. Now you gotta show me what you got. You gotta show me that you are not bowing your knee down and telling the story that they want you to tell. That's inauthentic, that's stereotypical, that is driven by insincere, right? Insincere depictions and divisive politics. That's not for me, man. That's why I love you guys so much, because I get it. I get it. However, life isn't black and white, man. You know? In fact, I'm not even black or white. And I'm going to get to your chats in a second. And I hope you're enjoying this. Please share it. Please hit the like. Um, everything that I review that's Latino on here that's new. If it's really good, I'm going to do my darndest to make sure that non-Latinos know about it, that people know about it. If it's great, if it's not good, I'm gonna let you know. You know, I'm hearing things about West Side Story that are not good. I'm gonna let you know about it. um, but this hate, this default standard of attack and hate, it permeates every discussion that I hear. Every discussion that I hear, right? That the discussion is seldom about the content of what they are talking about. It's just that, oh, they're changing this and they're doing this. Change sucks. Change happens. I know, man. It's inevitable. You can't do shit about it. Well, you can, right? You can just turn it all off and then, watch all your old shit. I could do that too. I don't want to. I want to be part of the change. I want to be part of what's going on. I want to learn and I want to be able to also enlighten as well and entertain people. So, um, I've been thinking about this a lot, man. And I just wanted to this is just one man's opinion. There's no gospel here. But I think it's important. I think it's important. I I think it's important to go into whatever you want to talk about. And this is something for all you guys that are starting your YouTube channels or you've been doing your YouTube channels, right? Not only know what the fuck you're talking about, but keep challenging yourself on things that you would never talk about. Because there's a million people talking about the same thing and talking about it the same approach and talking about it with the same fervor, talking about it with the same and talking about it to the same crowd. It is your unique perspective that's important in your channel. Now, going back to this default. So if your default as a YouTuber or just as a person who takes in entertainment is set for attack, I don't even know how you enjoy yourself, man. Are you having a good time? You know, just coming from that place of attack to where you maybe you look at the numbers or you look at the headlines and oh, that's it, I know it. Or do you see in between the lines? Do you do the extra work? Do you come up with a credible and what's the word I'm looking for? It's funny, like what's the word I'm looking for? Um, Cohesive argument. That's not the word I'm looking for, but um, because if you do have a channel and you are, or and you're young, you're new at it, or it's gonna help you, man. It's gonna help you, right? Because the trends come and go, right? The attack trends, they come and go. If you can provide something that's authentic and that's uniquely you, then all power to you. So default standard. All right, Polly. So that was I'm gonna get into um these stories, and I want you to remember what I was talking about default standard, right? About talking about something, literally tearing it apart, and you like never seen it. You have no idea. You didn't do the legwork. You didn't do your research. Why would I even take you seriously? Oh, because you're attacking it, and I like the attack mode. Okay, cool. Now, there's one more part of this is when we complain about this product or that product, which we're totally in our right to do so, especially if we buy something. Listen, every movie that I go out there and watch, right? I pay for it every time. Anything that I talk about with you guys, I paid for it, for the service or whatever, the product, and I come and talk to you guys about it. I don't get any. I might know some people that come and sing songs and it's all good and all that shit. The interviews and everything. And I know the ins and outs pretty much of the business. But when it comes to, reviews, and we're gonna start a new series of me reacting to uh amazing songs in Spanish. And it's not gonna be just a reaction, but I'm gonna break down the songs, the history of the bands, all that stuff. Because I don't see anyone else doing that, and I know you're gonna love it. Excuse me. Oh, I kind of lost my train of thought, but I really. Oh, look at 13 people here. I really love that you guys are here. Let me back it up. Um. Oh man, there's a lot of people here. I, okay, here we go. Sanders here. Eric K. Gary from the UK. Hey, Gary. Ro, what's worse, being invisible or being the enemy? I mean, if power is important to you, um, what's worse? I'm gonna we'll put this to just to poor people or people that are just kind of disenfranchised and forgotten. We won't even make it a Latino thing. Those people who are ignored by society and the higher ups and all that garbage, they tend to find their real happiness together. They tend to bond. They know the meaning of family and community. So there is a lot of great things that have grown out of being invisible. But in this case, Rogue, uh, what's worse is definitely being the enemy. All right. Uh, Read by nature. A clickbait is for the feeble-minded. Mark D with a C. Eric K. Yeah, Cam's here. Oh, got some nice people in here. A Mexican Iron Man. I was like into my mode there. Uh, Stovepipe Down Tube. How many Latino writers does Hollywood need to hire to make you happy? Ooh, to make me happy. I don't think it's a numbers thing. I think if you start doing the numbers thing, like no one wins. It's like kind of keeping track of the game. Um, but when it's less than 2% and all you're seeing, what you're seeing is it's either driven by agenda. It's not they're not complex characters or great stories. Yeah, I would like let me put it this way. I'd like a good diversity of Latino writers. I don't know if that makes sense to you. Just because there's a couple Latino writers, oh, we're good. We got our Latinos next. No, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. So to make me happy. I'm happy. I'm happy already. That's my default stovepipe, and that's what we're talking about. My default is positive. I give everything I'm fair. I'm open, which allows me to see things to where it's like, yeah, just because it's a Latino show, you know, let me tell you right now, Stovepipe, Gentified was a very uneven show for me. It's a show on Netflix. It's all Latino and all that stuff. I thought the writing was very uneven. When I say uneven, some good, some bad. The acting, the identity of the show was all over the place. Selena, the TV series, for me, it was awful. And I've said that on the show. Like I've reviewed it. So, let me tell you something about that stovepipe. What makes me happy is that when people are hired, that they're paid for their talent. Those writers on the Selena TV show by Netflix were paid cheap ass wages, and they had to do, later on down the line they did an article with the LA Times talking about how little they got paid. So this shit continues, man. All right, that's a great question though. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. What is Eric K? One of the biggest stars of the silent age of film, of the talkies, Ramon Novarro. Forgot you asked me about. I mean, yeah, he took over Valentino after Valentino did, but that's that's the silent. I mean, you got to go back 100 years. Listen, listen. um, I think once the talkies started, everything changed, right? Everything changed. I think it was actually you're right. I think your point was that there was a lot more cooler, progressive, shit going on then. Even Zorro, which was a great character, 1919, 1920, Spanish, Californio, um, uh, hero character wasn't played by one. It was played by was it Douglas Fairbanks? It was sensational, but that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. John Lee, I like the original West Side, and I wouldn't mind a new version if it stuck to original without being woke. Like you said, there will be changes just to it. Well, John, and thank you everyone for being here. This West Side Story is like my comic book. And what I mean by that, like I know some of you guys are like, mad comic book purists. West Side Story, because I in high school that's all I did, and I even played Tony in high school. And I'm a huge fan of the musical version and of the original movie. The original movie had its problems, you know. West Side Story is not a Latino story, right? It is a story of two warring factions, two houses. Here we lay our scene: Capulets and Montagues. Here we lay our scene: the Jets and the Sharks. If they keep it as such, where it's like kind of like these two rival tribes, then maybe go after any of the modern politics and the aesthetics of today, and they put it into West Side Story. That is not going to be good. From what I hear, that is happening, and also the accents of the Latino actors are kind of whacked, and I don't like that shit. I don't like that shit. The Gospel of Paulie. Hey, uh, spread joy back. I'm telling you, Gary. I'm telling you. Thank you. Greetings, Darth. Agree, Polly. I was wondering if I was the only one who liked Shang-Chi. Then I saw you. I mean, I got so much shit, and I continue to get shit for liking something that, was but listen, that's another thing too with your channel. Stand by what you like. If you like it, stand by it, man. You know. All right, cool. And I'm so happy that 18 people in the chat. That's way cool, man. Hope I can entertain you guys for a little while. Brett Cohen. I stopped by listening to a lot of the larger channels due to the hate clicks. Take a piss out of the critics, but what are they? Take the piss out of the critics, but what are they then? I've stopped listening to a lot of the larger channels due to the hate. Listen, I'm not telling anyone here to stop listening. You guys do what you got to do, right? I'm talking about if your default standard, right, is set to attack, set to, just destroy. And if you don't like something, hey man, go for it. But if it's that always, every time, every day, everything, that community, you shellac the shit out of the community with that anger. And we already know how the world is out there right now. So double and triple of that. It's not a good. It's not good, man. It's just not good. And um, that's never been my deal. Amazing. Have a cup as well. A cup of oh yeah, thank you. Yes, we have merchandise. Very cool. Thank you. And thank you everyone for being here. Jared Schneider. Hope you will go into a deep dive into Juan Garcia Esquivel sometime. Who is that? I'm sorry. And that's another thing. And what's another beautiful thing about this channel is that there's so much to cover, and yet I keep getting new stuff thrown at me, which is fantastic. I actually also want to do a deep dive into the works of Gabriel Garcia Marquez. I'm trying to figure that one out. Read by nature. I would think a better question is how you would like to see more Latinos, other demographics encouraged into the industry, providing more authentic voices. Yeah, what would make me happy? Oh, that's funny. Yeah, that's a good that's a good point. That's a good point. You know, that's a good point. How would you like to see like what I don't want to see is well, we're this percentage of the population, so we have to be this percentage in front of the screen. It's like, you know, what would make me happy is the authentic stories. And the best ones are created and done from that perspective. Now, let me tell you something. Once that perspective is done on that, those writers, they want to write about other things other than Hispanic themed stuff. I get it. Case in point recently, Netflix's new show called Uncoupled, starring Doogie Howser, the actor Doogie Howser. He has a Latina housekeeper, and apparently the actor that they had wanted to do it read the role, and she was like, "This is just like so awful. I can't do it." And she told her agent, she told her people, "Listen, this shit is whack." And I got another story for you about that. This is old Hollywood. This is the wolf. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm fucking talking about. What you won't find is that in those writing and directing rooms of Hentified, of however I feel about those shows, those old stereotypes just like they're just don't exist on in those type of rooms. But so what Netflix did is that they heard the complaints from the actor, and they wrote the character out. They just got rid of the character. So instead of doing the work and doing the research, maybe hiring another writer who knows, especially if you're going to make that Latina housekeeper a vital co-star, which is great, which is fantastic. They just cut it out. That happens all the fucking time. A few years ago, award-winning writer Broadway, Academy Awards. I don't even know if he's won Academy Awards. I mean, he's Tony Kushner, Angels in America. I don't know if anyone ever saw Angels in America. This guy's like an amazing writer. He wrote this new screenplay for West Side Story. This is a few years ago, like when they were like still, getting into production there. Apparently, he wrote all the Spanish that was in there. He used a phonetic translator from Google and then turned it in to Rita Moreno, who was one of the executive producers. And she had to school the boy. A Broadway award-winning writer. Couldn't do the extra legwork. Maybe he did. If I'm wrong, this is a story that I've heard. And this shit happens all the time. Now, what if there was not a Rita Moreno on the executive level to say, that's not correct. That's pretty cringy. And that used to happen all the time. So yeah, let's wow, look at all these great people. JS is here. Oh, I would love that. That's a great idea. There's a couple of actors I'm working on. Johnny Aquafina's typically comic relief, the sidekick type character. I still see her as that in Shang-Chi. Yeah, I never liked her, man, until I saw this movie. I actually thought she was funny. That other stuff I kind of like have seen little bits and pieces of. She was kind of like annoying, a little over the top, and a little too hood rat for me. I was just like, that doesn't sit well with me. Okay, God, we haven't even gotten to. Let me see here. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Give me your comments. I wanted to share the screen. I wanted to talk to you about. Okay, what am I doing here? Oh, my dogs just came in. And now they're on top of me. I know. We'll go out in a minute. Okay, so I want to talk about Encanto, Miles Morales, for a couple of minutes. Weekend estimates. Encanto holds top spot on slow post-Thanksgiving weekend. This is kind of what I was talking about. Encanto, they're projected to make 12.7 million this past weekend, down 53% from the weekend before. Ghostbusters Afterlife, 10.35 million. The weekend projection, which was literally the story before. Where is it? Had projected Ghostbusters will win the weekend. Our model projects. That model said Ghostbusters would come in with 12.7 predicted, and Encanto 9.1. Listen, I'm not a numbers guy. I'm not a numbers expert and all that shit. I'm just going by my feeling here is that there's with Encanto, within the Heights, there's a certain suppression of marketing and of this product that I can't explain. It's very strange. And even in these predictions, which were wrong, they predicted Ghostbusters would leap over and take the top spot. I love both movies, by the way. I gave Ghostbusters a 7. I gave Encanto an 8. I absolutely liked both movies for different reasons. I did feel that Ghostbusters was a little slow in that first hour, but the payoff emotionally was fantastic. Encanto is just like So much fun the entire time, right? Definitely take family members, take older and younger because it's a multi-generational story as well. Um, which I want to get to in a minute. So I just think it's funny. See, even here, right? With the numbers, it's just like, these little, and it could be said of like a lot of different films that where they just don't believe in or don't, whatever, these movies end up doing pretty well or better than what you thought. I think I think also because it's from Disney, that the product is from Disney, that this community just has an automatic just trigger for, right? Because we all say it, right? Duck Disney. I get it. I get it. But if we're always ducking this and ducking that, what can we enjoy? Because there's gems that do come out of. Gems happen all the time. They really do. Mm. Hope you're enjoying your cafe. Um, so with Encanto, and it's not Encanto. Cabrones. Encanto. Um, you know, in the reaction that I have gotten personally, right? Comments to people reaching out, through the channel, they're saying I'm staying away from this woke garbage. It's like, well, how do you know it's woke if you haven't seen it? I'm asking you guys in the chat, how do you know if it's quote unquote woke if you haven't seen it? It's that default, it's that filter of anger, which I understand because you can do both. You can do both. That sometimes, keeps us away from good stuff. It's the same people too that are dissing Afterlife and they're just trying to promote 2016 Ghostbusters as something great. Well, it's making more money. It did better than Afterlife. It's not the better movie though, by far. It's Afterlife is an incredible film compared to 2016. Give me a break. So, I've gotten that from Encanto, and listen, Encanto has its problems, and Midnight's Edge in Espanol, we've talked about it, and that's another practice of Hollywood being lazy and not giving a shit about Latinos, is their Spanish dubs, their Spanish commercials, their Spanish voices are all Mexican actors. It's a Colombian family, and it's a huge difference. Let me just tell you, it's like telling a story of the South, not of the South, but of a family that lives in the South of this in the southern states with the accents and everything. And you have actors from New York and they have New York accents. That's the sting, guys. That's the sting. Doesn't that sound ridiculous? That's the sting. That as a moviegoer or TV, and you ask your Latino friends, your peeps, that yes, Benicio del Toro was amazing in the movie Traffic, but he played a Tijuana cop with an Eastern kind of New Yorican accent. That's his accent. You can tell. It's cringe. Man, we can go back. We can go back. But the fact that it's still happening, it's bullshit. It's bullshit. Pablo, Geek Tropology, and Diego, when we were listening to a part of Encanto in Spanish, they cringe, man. And I'm like, well, welcome to my pain. And now you know that Hollywood really doesn't give a shit, right? Say, I can turn it on too. I'm not like, oh my God, it's the greatest ever, and everything. It's like, nah, no. You gotta come correct, especially with like a big musical project as like Encanto. Come correct. Or like In the Heights. There was nothing, I would say 95% of In the Heights is about an American immigrant story. There's like not even 5% of a little of a little wokosones. It's a great film. It's great songs. It's so much fun. You would never get that in the marketing. The marketing was like, this is the next, freaking, Black Panther. And what I mean by that is like, just because a movie is Latino or Asian or whatever, it can't be the be all and end all. That's where we get into trouble. And Hollywood doesn't know how to market the complexes and the beauties and the grayness of cultures, right? It's just like, castanets and, mariachi hats. It's like, yeah, man. Okay, so that's the thing with Encanto. I think it's definitely been completely dogged by unfairly dogged by people in the in the community, especially ones who haven't seen it. So take that for what it is, man. All right, we did a poll yesterday on Miles Morales. What did you guys think of the new Spidey trailer? And we'll get to that. Let me just see some hey Darth, how are you, man? I've not prejudged it personally. I didn't even think that there would be a strong sentiment to boycott Disney from me community, considering a lot of them still have D plus accounts. And and let me be clear right now. I'm not talking, and I'm not, and thank you for this. I'm I work for Midnight's Edge, right? Like we work and do Midnight's Edge Espanol. I'm very proud, and I love uh Andre and Tom and our community, and especially the ones that we're working on in Spanish. This is everyone. I'm seeing this everywhere. I don't think Encanto was marketed well. I haven't heard of it before when the numbers started coming in. Yeah, you're right. Hey, coffee. I think it's hard with Disney right now. You have to win the people back. It took enough people trusting it. Yeah, I hear you, Rogue. I hear you. You would know, man. You're really invested. You know. British and Australian actors have to develop American accents to work in the US. Jared, let me tell you, that's a whole different argument. And that's a great question. That's a great question. Why is that? I'm gonna be very, very direct with you. Okay. The training of the American actor sucks. The training of the American actor sucks. Why are British and Australian actors seemingly taking all the good American roles? They are trained amazingly. They're theater actors. Even Alfred Molina. I seen Alfred Molina on and he was raised in the UK. I saw him in a play right before the coup happened. Boy, Molina, Jesus. American actors are, and I'm talking about the ones that make it into film. They are not theater trained. All those British actors are theater trained up the wazoo for many years, guys. For many years. That is why. That is why. Ever been to Encanto Park, Paulie? The pond smells bad. I have not. The heck? Hugh Berner was the king of Siam. David Carradine, China fan. I watched those more as a kid. I do the martial arts shows out now. I'm interested in watch a little of Warrior. Warrior. Yeah. I liked David Carradine as Kung Fu. Cool. Okay, really quick. We'll wrap it up. I really thank you guys for being here. We did a poll of who pick your hero. You guys picked your hero. Miles Morales or Jaime Reyes? Spider-Man or the Blue Beetle? And this is a film version, right? This is the film version. And the poll has ended, and 31 votes, 77% of Jaime Blue Beetle. Miles got a measly 22%. From what I hear, is that the treatment of Jaime Reyes, who is not the original Blue Beetle, over the years is far more superior than Miles Morales. The origin, the stories, and I get it. I get it. And I saw just a lot of hate against the actors there. Not against the actors, just dislike of the new Spider Across the Spider-Verse trailer. Hey, I like the first movie. I thought it was great. I'm definitely gonna, curious about this new one. Um, I liked the Blue Beetle Jaime out of the Batman cartoons, but I don't know a lot about Jaime Reyes and Blue Beetle. So I wanted to get a feel for you guys because I know a lot of people just, were like, you know, Miles Morales is not Spider-Man. Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Miles Morales is Miles Morales. And I'm just like, okay, but can you be both? Can both exist? What is what are people really upset about? Is it because it's just a bad character? I don't think it's because it's, because if it's a race change. I think it's more because the story was never good. So, you know, um, yeah, Miles is definitely feeling the heat. But I gotta tell you, man, a lot of people checked out that trailer. I like that trailer. And we even did a poll on YouTube as well on our community board. And again, same thing. Miles or Jaime, Spider-Man or Blue Beetle. 37 votes, 57% Jaime. Now here I gave three choices. 57% Jaime. Here, let me. Buenos dias, Lombardi. What's happening? And this will be the last thing, and then we'll wrap it up. You guys can get your day going. And where am I looking at? Oh yeah, here we go. No. Look at my page. Here we go, everyone. All right, this is the YouTube community page we have for the slant. I asked yesterday, with 37 votes, Miles or Jaime? Jaime Reyes, 57%. Both, 27%. Miles Morales, 16%. You guys don't like Miles. Oh, shit. I'm not even... Listen, I'm not even gonna fight you on this one. The voice of the people have spoken. The people have spoken. And I respect that. I really do. I really do. I want both of them to succeed. I want, and this is going back to what I talked about, is that I believe there's space for all of them. You have Tom Holland's Spidey. Hopefully, we get to see Toby back. You have the Toby movies, and I'm talking about movies, not comics, guys. Then you have these animated movies that I think there's room for all of them. They're just different variations, different stories. And I think with Blue Beetle, we're gonna see something that we've never seen before. and its origin story as a feature film. Have to admit, I'm more excited for Sholo being the lead than the Miles animated cartoon, for sure. For sure. You take it easy, Cam Cam. Have a great day. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for anyone that has come by. So yeah, maybe we can get a little dirt on Sholo Maridueña as far as where he's at with the production of Blue Beetle. But you guys spoke, man. You guys are like, Jaime Reyes all the way. You know, who am I to say no? I get it. Uh, Breco, most of our actors come off stage backgrounds. You're always on. There's no second take. Yeah, man. Australian and British actors take years of training, uh, take years of dialect training. You guys are the real deal. This is why there's, British actors are all over the place playing American roles. You know, a lot of American stars, a George Clooney, a Brad Pitt, who else is big right now? Channing, Tating, whatever. Ryan Reynolds. I don't think any of those guys have theater backgrounds. I think they all were discovered, and if you look at their earlier films, they were not the best actors. Yeah, great movie stars. I think someone like a Clooney, when you come from a family of entertainers, that's in a way training, because you're performing, you're in that performance mode since as a child. That's really what British and Australian actors do. Um, so yeah, that's really like my best answer for that, is that American actors are just horribly trained. The ones that are the stage actors, um, that's who you want to pay attention to. Those are the ones, and they're a lot of them do exist. Okay, what else you guys saying? Oh, as long as they don't be cheap. What, what are we talking about? Reggie is a member of the channel. I saw Reggie last night. Explain yourself, sir. Blue Beetle interests me because he owns a lot to the Guyver Magna. I like his character, man. I'm curious to see I'm really curious to see the script and the story of that. Okay. All right. So what do we got? As I told you, Andy from Santana and Asdru from Ozomali are going to be performing on the show this week. We have musical performances from them. Next week, we have the Christmas show. And I just booked Patricia Vaughn to come on and play a couple Christmas songs. She's been doing her brand of music for decades. You can see her in a lot of Robert Rodriguez's movies. And she just came out with a Christmas album. So we're going to have a great Christmas show for you guys. And I really appreciate you being here with this morning. Have a great day, everyone. Set your default standard today to happiness. Let's do that. All right. Check out Encanto. Check out Maya and the Three. I recommend that on Netflix. Highly recommend that. That's an incredible series. We really need to do a deep dive on that. We'll be live tomorrow midnight at Español. Later this week, we're going to the movies. West Side Story. Wow. Yeah. So we'll get you that out of the theater review. Ozomali are awesome. Yes. Oh, yes. Blue Beetle budget. I mean, yeah. Please don't go cheap, man. Please don't go cheap. Mark D, pleasure to have you here. Everyone say hello to everyone on your way out. Ozomali are awesome. Well, we got Asdru coming on in. Oh, look at this. Here we go. I'm going to take myself out. Enjoy, everyone. Much love.
Come on, y'all. Come on, yo. Come on, yo. It's land.
Yeah, but isn't this the unplugged version? I don't know. I think it's the unplugged version.
Paulie, let's go.
All right, listen, y'all. Just go ahead and let the guest play. Come on, jeez. That's better.